Acknowledging.
Jennifer, is that your fan or Chris's?
Really?
Huh. Oh. Very good.
Bring him in here.
Yeah, that's what I do at night. I take my bills on.
I'm supposed to sit down here.
Yep. All right. Is this yours, good? I think it's Marina's.
Is Senator Coleman sitting here, then?
Yeah, I guess you got something.
Okay. Senator Carney.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got about 3 minutes after, and I'm going to see if I can get us moving here. Real quick, I want to let everybody know there's a public hearing that's been called on Senate Bill 6, and I think the sign-up sheet is still there. If you're interested in signing up to speak on the public hearing, please go ahead and do so. And while we're kind of getting all seated and in order, I wanted to introduce some folks real quick. So from the Alabama School of Math and Science, Allison, if you could have your crowd stand up, I'd love for y'all to be recognized. The #1 public high school in the state, average ACT score of 30. Y'all are firing on all cylinders. We are super proud of y'all and what you're doing. Guys, these kids are from all over the state of Alabama. So it's just, see? Okay. And so you're absolutely high percentage from Senator Carnley's district. And so this is a school that serves all of the state of Alabama. It's a residential school. It happens to be in Mobile. It's not in my district, but I'm very proud of the Alabama School of Math and Science, proud supporter of what y'all are doing from all over the state. So welcome to the Alabama State House and to this really fun committee. So glad to have y'all here. They're here all day. They're going to come see you and talk. See, they've already seen you. I haven't been in my office all day, so I don't know. Okay, we've got the public hearing sheet retrieved, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm looking for Senator Givhan. He's right there. You're going to be first up. Clerk, if you would.
Hallelujah. I was hoping you were going to make me sit through that public hearing.
Whoa. Hey, Sam, hold on a second. Clerk, if you can call the roll.
Senator Albritton. Senator Carnley. Senator Chambliss. Senator Coleman. Senator Gudger. Senator Hatcher. Senator Kelly. Senator Coleman Madison. Senator Hovey. Senator Elliott.
Here we have a quorum. Sam, you're up. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I am the Senate appointee to the Uniform Law Commission, and this is a ULC bill that was prepared. Senator Ward is also on that commission, and I think he had this bill a few years back. But this essentially does two things. Number one is it provides, I think in a practical terms, a way to replace elector dies, is not able to make it in, something like that. We don't have a clear mechanism to do that now. This does that. The other thing it does is, when people are voting, most people have got figured out that we're not a popular vote, that is electoral college, and it has not been a problem in Alabama, no, but it has been a problem out west in the past, where you've had faithless electors. They ran as pledging to vote for candidate X or candidate Y, and then they voted the other way, or they voted for a third party. And this would allow a mechanism there to make sure all of Alabama's electors vote the way that they were pledged to vote.
You've heard from the bill's sponsor. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Senator Carnley. Senator Albritton?
I have a comment, if I may.
Yes, sir. I got a second by Senator Chambliss. Comment away.
Thank you. We're going to vote for this bill, I know, and it's a good bill overall. But as you well know, looking through the history of presidential elections from 1884 to 1800 and all those other contentious ones, there are times when the electors cannot vote the way the popular vote came in because candidates change and other matters that occur. Politics comes into play. There's got to be some leeway along this line, I think, to afford, because if they are tied to do only one thing there, when circumstances change, we become irrelevant. So I'd like to talk to you more about this as we go.
Be delighted to. Of course, when you refer to the popular vote, I assume you're talking about the popular vote of the state of Alabama.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
the national popular vote doesn't interact with that. But I'll be delighted.
I follow you. I understand that. Yeah, I concur. I just think we need to talk about this a little more, but I'm with you.
Thank you.
Okay, got a motion second. Any further comments? Clerk? Oh, yes, ma'am.
So does the bill make provisions for that exception? I didn't.
Well, I'm not sure what exception he's talking about. I mean, I think what I'm trying to envision is like, let's say the candidate died. The presidential candidate died somewhere between the election and the electoral college. I mean, then that point you would still support the vice president, and the vice president would become president. And then there's a procedure in the federal election to arrange for that. So I'm not sure exactly the parameters, but be glad to elaborate.
Senator Albritton.
The best thing I can tell you, and without taking watch the old movie The Best Man, and I think that'll give you a clue as to where I'm headed with that. But we'll talk about
Is that in silent or?
It is black and white.
I think it's a talkie is what it's called, Senator. A talkie.
I'm always behind on those terminologies. Smart Alex.
Clerk, call the long roll.
Senator Albritton.
I don't know now. Yay.
Senator Carnley. Senator Chambliss. Senator Coleman. Senator Gudger. Senator Hatcher. Senator Kelly. Senator Coleman Madison. Senator Hovey. Senator Elliott.
Bill receives a favor report. Thank you, Senator Givhan. Senator Orr, you're up next. I think we got them warmed up for you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate being able to come to the committee. This is a pretty simple bill. It says if you give an internet campaign contribution, internet only, you got to have the billing address and you have to use the 3 or 4 digit code on the credit card. And the reason for this is they're finding that campaigns or whomever are using bots sometimes to feed internet or feed campaigns small donations, and also gift cards like a Visa gift card, trying to cloak donors and going out and buying a whole bunch of Visa gift cards or MasterCard, whatever,
Mr. Chairman,
and sending them through the process.
I have a motion in 3 seconds, so we're going to go Senator Coleman Madison and then a second by Senator Hatcher. Using previous rule without objection. Bill receives favor report. Thank you,
Thank
Senator
you,
Orr.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Committee.
sir. Absolutely. Senator Jones, SB 164. And members, just so y'all are aware, we have the House version of this right afterwards as well. So we're going to get a twofer here. Senator Jones?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This simply has to do with audits. There's an antiquated provision for Class 4 municipalities that they have to change auditors every 3 years. The problem with that is there's only Gadsden and Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa got out of this years ago, and so it's only Gadsden that's left having to do this, and they'd like to just keep their same auditor.
Senator Albritton?
Could we put Tuscaloosa back under it?
I tend to agree with you, and I don't like, I mean, I like the concept of this. I think this is a safety precaution, but the senator has made a good point that it's only this municipality that seems to continue to be affected by it. But I think rotating and having fresh eyes on the financials is a good thing.
I concur.
I would, Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
would just say, hey, if we're going to put all municipalities in the state under this, that's fine, but we're singling out one of mine. You know what I mean? So
All I want to do is add Tuscaloosa back. If we take Gaston out, I'm fine. I just want Tuscaloosa in it.
Do you
I wonder
represent
why.
Tuscaloosa?
I wonder why.
Does he represent Tuscaloosa?
He represents
Okay.
all the state of Alabama.
Move for final.
I have a motion for a favorable report by Senator Coleman Madison, a second by Senator Hatcher. Is there any further discussion on the matter? Well, we'll do them one at a time. We need to do that procedurally. I'd like to call the long roll on this, please.
Senator Albritton? Senator Carnley? Senator Chambliss? Senator Coleman? Senator Gudger? Senator Hatcher? Senator Kelly? Senator Coleman Madison? Senator Hovey? Senator Elliott?
No. You got to love a chairman that'll put your bill on the committee calendar, get it out of committee, and then vote no for you.
I appreciate it, Chairman.
Anyway, there we are. Your bill receives a favorable report. Members, again, procedurally, the next bill, House Bill 22, is the exact same bill. I have a motion by Senator Chambliss and a second by Senator Carnley. Is there any objection to using the previous roll? Okay, that bill comes out of committee too. Thanks, Senator Jones.
I've got the next one too, Chairman.
Well, rock on. House Bill 89, again by Senator Butler.
This is the same bill the committee passed. It was last week or the week before. They're upping their fees, trying to discourage. They got a bunch of joke candidates that always run, and so the fees are kind of behind, and they're trying to up their qualifications. So I can show videos offline to members
So
of
move
the
for
committee.
approval.
I appreciate your candor, sir. I have a motion by Senator Coleman Madison and a second by my good friend Senator Hatcher. Let's see. We'll just use the previous roll without objection. Bill receives a favorable report.
All right. Thank you, Chairman, members.
Thank you very much. Members, SB 227 deals with the Office of Occupational and Professional Licensing. Now, before all of you gasp and pass out, I want y'all to take a look at what I've been able to do here. Now, previously, I've introduced pieces of legislation that deal with occupational licensing, one of which was 818 pages long. This one is 11. So isn't that cool? I did well. It's too short. I get that a lot too. Okay, so members, what we're doing here is fairly simple. We have a sunset committee, Senator Kelly, that is firing on all cylinders. You are doing a fantastic job chairing that committee. I could not be prouder of the work Sunset Committee is doing. It is a good government, good accountability committee, and you're doing good work with it. And so that confidence that I have in your leadership and how that committee is working.
Don't let him smooze you.
And Representative Wilcox downstairs has led me to this conclusion. Let's let Sunset keep working and doing the work that it's doing. So what does this bill do? This bill gives the Secretary of Workforce, our former colleague, the ability to establish an office and staff that office to provide administrative services for many of the boards that we have running around in the state. Should it become necessary, should he deem it necessary, should there be a need for it? No general fund impact, okay, because this is all fee-based. I got to make sure I'm touching all my bases here. And it is permissive, so it's not required until it's necessary. Now back to Sunset again. This would be fed, the necessity would come if the Sunset Committee, again, a joint committee of both houses, decides, hey, this board's having some problems. They're either having some problems with the board or they're having some problems with their executive services provider.
Move for favorable.
I have a motion by Senator Albritton.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
What licenses do the Office of Workforce Development currently issue?
So that's a good question. Senator, I'm gonna have to go back and look. It would be those that are probably left over from labor unless they've moved that. I mean, elevators, for instance, is coming to mind for one. Franklin, I see you out there. Are there any occupational licensing currently that I'm just not aware of? Okay, so the answer to that is none, from which what I'm hearing from.
So then the question then begs to be answered. Why are we setting this up, an entity under workforce development, when they don't issue any license?
That's a good question. And so the first answer is it has to go somewhere, right? And so, again, it's permissive, but it's got to go somewhere. And so the question...
Wait, hold on, excuse me. What has to go somewhere when they don't issue any license?
So the answer is somebody has to take the ball if we're going to establish some entity in order to do this. And with conversations with the governor's office, who is supportive of this legislation, and the Department of Workforce, who's willing to administer this, the conversation and the answer came down to, oftentimes these licensing boards they're serving our workforce, right? They're licensing our workforce. And that's the genesis, that's the connection there, is we want to make sure we remove barriers to entry to the workforce. We want to make sure it is easy to get an occupational license, that it is quick, so that we want you to go to work. We don't want to be a barrier to you going to work. And that's what the Department of Workforce is all about. And so that's why workforce.
I'm not finished yet. Okay, we remember the big, beautiful bill that you had last year, 800 pages, you say?
I think that was the previous year. Last year we cut it about half, but now we're just 11.
It seems like this is kind of like an roundabout way of, let's set it up first, and then we kind of cherry pick and put them over there. And understand, your concept is not altogether bad.
The messenger.
I just think we really need to take time, and it needs to be transparent of what we're about, huh? No, y'all know I'm not biased like that. I pick on everybody. It's not a bad concept. I just think it needs to be very transparent, and we need to know if we are looking at, and even maybe talk to some of these agencies, would they be better under workforce development? But again, we're setting up an entity. We're trying to find a solution to a problem that doesn't exist.
Whoa,
because
hold on. I got
now, see, but see, now it comes back to the original, the roundabout back doorway of the big bill that you had, because again, workforce development does not. Even the Labor Department, when they didn't issue any licenses. So we need to be open and above board about what we're trying to do, and let everybody understand this. Again, your concept is not altogether bad, but I just think that we need to fully understand what we're doing, what's the implications for it, how does this really, well, we see how it fits in the sunset, but I just have that issue with this, the way we're doing it.
Okay, Senator Chambliss.
Mr. Chairman, let me see if I understand it. As a former chair of the Sunset Committee, we had a committee or boards that we had trouble with repeatedly. Partly because they were too small to really get enough momentum to have the staff that they need, that type of thing. So these boards really have, for simplicity, two sides of the coin. The one coin side is licensing and complaints, enforcement, that kind. The other is the administrative that goes to all of that. In the situations that I'm looking at, if engineers still regulate engineers, but engineers don't have to administer, do all the front end, do all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, we have an entity to do that. And the reason why I say that is in Georgia, I used to be licensed in Georgia, and that's the way they've done it for decades. It makes things a lot easier. Now, if I had a complaint against me, I would not go to that administrative. I would go to the board of engineers that would do all that. So in the situation where we have these problem repeat offenders, what is the mechanism that makes them go there? The Sunset Committee?
Yes, sir. And that's designed like that, right? So you've got a joint committee that is, as you're well aware, and Senator Kelly's well aware, is pouring through these boards. Details, and again, House and Senate together, looking at these boards, and is very much, and that's why I said whoa earlier, is running into these problems. And the question is, what are we as a state doing to help these boards get the competent, capable, effective administrative services that they need? Oftentimes, when there's not a lot of money around to handle some of these smaller boards, it leaves the board intact, doesn't touch a board.
I'm with you. The second part of my thought is there are boards out there who would like to do this on their own because they know they don't have enough resources to hire the admin. They would do so. They are allowed to voluntarily go to this as well.
They are, and so they could do that. But also, in the sunset process, again, as we're going through this methodically, that would be a great opportunity for them to ask that as well, and could be, I wouldn't want boards hopping in and out necessarily, but through the sunset process, and again, a well-established process to work through that and say, hey, listen, We've been doing this way because it's the only option out there, and we've only got revenue of $50,000 a year, and this is all we can afford, and we don't there are no other options for us. Right. And so what I'm trying to do is provide an option for sunset, but also an option for the board, and particularly those boards who I think the state is failing by not having some option for them. Right. And so we haul them up here in front of us and flog them publicly for something that's not their fault.
Yeah, well, I like the concept. I like where this is headed. It gives them an opportunity to help themselves. And if they don't, and they do what they need to do, fine. But if they don't, and they can't do what they need to do, okay, we have an option. So I like it.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Senator Carnley, and then we'll go to Senator Kelly, and then Senator Hatcher, did you? Okay. Senator Carnley.
So who deems them as necessary to go under this new oversight?
Sunset. So in the Sunset Committee, right, and I just handled a bill downstairs that dealt with massage therapists, for instance. And so Senator Coleman Madison, just for reference, the legislature already has this authority, right? We're using it already. And it's just the optionality of a place that Sunset can use to help some of these boards. But that's right. I like using optionality. That's the word the port was using here recently, and so that's my new buzzword. But it gives us options, right? And so, Senator Carnley, the Sunset Committee, when it is renewing, extending the current existence of a board, would say, okay, you've had some problems, or you're asking, or whatever else, and you're not fixing some of the problems you're having. I could see the Sunset Board using this as an option to go to a particular place. And so we just use this with massage therapy, for instance, where we took our massage therapy friends who have been bounced around from different executive directors and administrative services from here to there, wherever, and at the request of some of the massage therapists, at the request of the nursing board, who we obligated with, regulating them. They said, I don't want to do it anymore. Please get me out of this. Thanks for doing this to me. Boo, we don't want to do it anymore. And then, so then I had the Department of Health come to me and say, we'll take on the responsibility to do it. And so to your point about workforce, I'm sorry, I'm trying to answer two questions at once here. The Sunset Committee can absolutely look at these individual entities and say, maybe workforce isn't the spot for you, maybe health is. And we just did that with massage therapists. But workforce gives an option for those that may not fit under health, for instance. And so, good question, and I hope that answers the question.
It does. I guess it's kind of a question that leads to another. What happens if this board grows or says, hey, we want to be independent again. We want to manage ourselves. And then you have a workforce head that says, no, we've already obligated so many funds to try to pay for somebody to do this for you, so we can't let you go.
Well, that's the legislature's responsibility, and there's a process for that. And so Senator Kelly presides over that process. But if we, in legislation, say your executive functions, your administrative functions, rather, are going to be handled by the Department of Workforce, and then something changes, we can change that. We, as the legislative branch, we get to write the law, and we can absolutely change that if we feel it's necessary.
But the way the current is, if they decide they want to come out, it would have to be at the approval of the Department of Workforce to say, okay, you want to go back on your own, we'll let you go back on your own.
No,
No.
no, sir. I don't think so. Yeah, the sunset and the legislature still retains all its authority that it has now. This is not giving any more power to the legislature. This is not taking away any power from the legislature. This is just giving an option for sunset to say, I need to put this board's administrative function somewhere. It may not fit at health, or it may not fit at mental health. What's the catch-all for this place? What do we do? Where do we go?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I may,
Yes.
I think I might help a little bit here. So this kind of goes to what I was going to say a few minutes ago. Had this been in place before, the Sunset Committee would have had these options. We could have saved a lot of headaches and a lot of grief for some boards, and it would have shortened the process, would help some of those boards that were desperate needs of help instead of having to go through what we had to go through with some of those. So I think this is just another tool to try to help those boards that need that help, if that helps.
It does, and thank you. I'm trying to work within existing processes as much as possible. Yes, ma'am.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for bringing the tone down because, and really,
It wasn't easy.
this has been a process, and we have come full circle. But this is what committee work is all about. Now, I think we understand it. I think the public understands the intent and how it can benefit, because that's our role, is to really help these boards and agencies that do an awful lot of good work and alleviate the fears of those people who are applying for their licenses. Where does this leave us? Who do we go to? And to my understanding, you're saying the board will be intact. They still handle those issues relative to whatever professional entity there is. And the only question that I have, and if they come under workforce, and it's not all of them, but for those that are struggling and really need that administrative assistance, they have that option to go under there, and they will handle all the administrative kinds of things. Administratively, each one of these boards collect license fees. So how is that handled? Because that was a question that I had last time as far as the accounts.
It's a good question, and it's one I kind of struggled with. And so we have set up these siloed. Each one of these boards operates as its own state agency. And you start looking. Has my time expired? We've set up these little siloed state agencies, one after another, and they've become, frankly, these little fiefdoms, if you will. But some are very large fiefdoms. But most are pretty small. And what I envision, and again, this isn't my decision, this will be up to a joint committee, sunset committee to make these decisions. But to Senator Chambliss's point, a lot of them don't have a lot of money and they're struggling. They don't need a full-time person. They don't need a half-time person. They just need somebody to push through just a few licenses that they've got. And so what we're envisioning here is an aggregation of those fees so that you can process the paperwork. And I think that what you will see is those boards that have competent, capable administrative services provided by their board, or even state employees that are working, or other contract employees, they're not going to get moved over here. This is more of the problem folks and the folks that don't have enough money to exist on their own. And so the answer to your question is it goes into a fund. But
A joint fund.
Yes, ma'am. But the administrative functions for those boards that at least I'm envisioning as one member of Sunset is they're so small, and they're not. These don't have huge investigatory requirements. These are just, honestly, Senator, they're just processing the paperwork and the license and verifying that you've got whatever education and you've got a clear criminal background check and just issuing the paperwork.
So if there's a lawsuit, then since they have a joint fund, if there's a lawsuit on one board, then the overall arching entity out of workforce will handle that and work with them? How does that work?
It does. I mean, I'm not again, when you start thinking about, and I guess this is more of a question case by case for Sunset as we look at these and whether or not they're appropriate to move in this direction. But I don't see lawsuits on some of these. These boards are so simple and small. I I don't necessarily see that. Now, I will tell you this, I'm really encouraged about the efficiency that's likely to come out of this, because you won't have all of these little boards, all with their separate administrative services, either contracts or employees, or their separate independent counsels and legal fees and everything that we see through contract review. I mean, this is a behemoth. And so the short answer is it's all combined.
Okay, my last question is
ma'am.
then the board, and of course this would authorize it.
Yep.
And I think this is really important that we answer these questions, because I'm sure for those people who are professionals that go through the licensing procedure to get their license, they are concerned about how does this impact me, and we want to make sure this bill does not spell out everything as far as policies and procedures. That's something that the board under workforce development will set up. And imagine as they set this up, those questions will be answered. And we are not taking the 800 and some bill, the Super Bertha bill, and trying to, because at that time you gave us a list of every agency, and they would be put into this new thing. This is not the same. I just want to be clear.
Just this little old bill.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Senator Chambliss?
I just have one comment.
Yes, please.
Because I'm still digesting some of this, and I think, as we've talked about this, and I'm on Sunset and I see it, and some of this, you've done a good job of trying to say, okay, do we really need this? And trying to do away with licenses that are unnecessary. But I guess where I struggle is when we take this and put it into government. And I know we view these as state agencies, but they have their options to go do what they want to do. A lot of them don't, because they say, well, hey, this is all we got. But my fear would be is if this grew, would the services provided suffer, whether it be for licensing. And so that's my only concern. I know you're doing what you, and I support you and, trying to make things more efficient. I understand. That's my only thing, because while we have efficient government, it's good, but what happens 30 years from now and they're stuck and then they can't come out. So that'd be my only thing. And I appreciate what you're doing, and, appreciate you bringing this.
Yeah, and I appreciate the concern. Listen, I've been, as Senator Coleman Madison mentions, I've been around this issue for a little while. I can tell you that in my opinion, having an agency that's handling this instead of the 62 different boards that are all these different siloed, duplicative agencies out there, especially if we can, consolidate, again, just the administrative services of these things, you're going to see efficiency quite the contrary to what some of the detractors and some of the private individuals who are making small fortunes off of running the state at our behest. They're going to, you're going to see efficiency. You're going to see efficiency. Okay. Do we have a good roll? Let's call the long roll, please.
Senator Albritton. Senator Carnley. Senator Chambliss.
Aye.
Senator Coleman. Senator Gudger. Senator Hatcher. Senator Kelly. Senator Coleman Madison.
And I guess we'll name this bill after Senator Kelly.
Did you say aye? Senator Hovey.
Aye.
Senator Elliott.
Aye. Bill receives a favorable report. Members, the sponsor for Senate Bill 6 has asked to carry it over, and so we're going to carry it over. And that concludes our business for today. Thank you, members. Which one's this? I'm sorry.
The one that was carried over.
Oh, yeah.
Jess, thank you. It really has been a long day.
And we'll keep it for next time. Hey, if there is a next time.
That's
There ain't gonna be a fucking next time. No, I get it. And the politics.
sometimes people forget they can pick up